I want to talk about something that I kind of miss and something that I think a lot of guys kind of miss these days. And I think it's the ability to make a joke, the ability to stop pretending that wasn't funny. Okay, when I'm 23, when I was in middle school, I don't know, like a decade ago, I remember I had a group of friends and we were all like minorities. I was Hispanic. This guy, my friend was black. Another friend was Dominican, whatever. And we'd all make like ruthless jokes to each other, you know. I still make jokes, you know. I have a friend who's mixed. And the number one joke I make to him, I call him Puerto Rican because he's Italian and black. But like he gets him so mad when people call him Puerto Rican. So I'm like, oh, you're Puerto Rican, right? And it still pisses him off. And he'll still say stuff to me and we're just kidding. But like, do you really think I mean that in offensive? Like, you know what I mean? Because I know someone will find that a little bit offensive. And you know what? It's my friend, so shut the hell up, you know? But anyway, so people would call me like, you know, like my friends would call me like fat Mexican, and then I'd say stuff back to them. And to us, it was just funny. But then all of a sudden, I think in high school, people started getting like super weird about jokes. They'd be like, oh, well, that's not that funny. Well, I didn't find that funny. I know I wasn't the one getting spoken to. I know I wasn't in on the joke, and I know no one really likes me or my opinions, but I'm going to make a big deal about this, and like I'm going to say something about a joke. I remember this one time in middle school. It started like late middle school. We all got like in trouble over like a joke we were making to a certain kid. And to be fair, we did go a bit too far. We did go a bit too far with the joke. But we were saying that particular joke to everybody. And you know, we all got in trouble, and I think that was kind of the beginning of the end in my school district of making these kind of like outlandish humor, I'll call it. But I noticed that no matter what kind of age you are, you find this type of stuff hilarious. It's funny to guys. It's just funny. It's stupid. It's not like the greatest. It's not our greatest representation, but you need that. You need a chill bro. You need like a council of guys to just rib on each other. And it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be. It's also not politically correct. But it's necessary. I remember when I was in high school and I was like 260 pounds and I was playing football and I tore my meniscus and it swole to the size of a baseball, and I would hurt it every now and then, and I'd have to sit down and I'd ice it, and I'd be icing it. And one of my coaches, my old school coaches, he would walk by me. He was my favorite coach too. Everyone, like, you know, he was everyone's favorite coach, I think. But anyway, he walks by me and he's looking at me. He's like, "Oh, you tore your labia." And I'm like, damn, bro, that's like, you know? But then, like, I caught he was joking, and he was like, "Oh, your knees wouldn't hurt if you weren't on them all the time." And, like, I don't know. To me, like, to be making fun of a 15, 16-year-old just there with a torn ligament or whatever, I think that's hilarious. That was funny. It was even funny at the time. To me, like, and I know other people found it funny because other people were laughing. And he was just kidding around. And he was everyone's favorite coach. And, like, the fact that you can't make jokes like that, the fact that if we were like out in public or whatever and he said something like that to me, some people would be like, "Oh, well, actually, I didn't find that funny." Like, shut up. Like, no one was talking to you, first of all. And second of all, I think that humor is everyone's kind of, it depends on who you are. There's some people who never find that type of stuff funny. There's some people who do. I'm not saying, say, the most crazy, like, you know, buzzword, insert buzzword here type of humor to like get a reaction. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like it's normal to say stupid crap to get a reaction, to be funny. It's always been like that. And this certain guy, I feel like he could have been a stand-up comedian. He would say things to players. I remember he said things to this one player. I'll never forget this. He looked at this one guy who was so bad at football. And he was like, you know exactly what to do, but he's like, your body's just terrible, man. And and even the kid started laughing. Even the kid he said it to started laughing. It was hilarious, you know. And it was just like things like that would just happen. And here's where I really have a problem with it. The reason, you know, people are kind of afraid to talk is because of the judgment. And I get that. I get it's kind of like you don't want to be the one that everyone's like, "Oh, that guy's mean." But you're never going to please everybody, no matter what kind of jokes you make, no matter what kind of things you laugh at. You're just going to limit yourself. And I remember very, very vividly. This actually wasn't, I think this was maybe a year or two ago, something like that. Anyway, I was at like a dinner with like this girl I was seeing at the time. And you know, it was like a double date or whatever. So I'm sitting with this guy and like, you know, I'm talking or whatever. And she's trying to convince, I guess the two girls are trying to convince us to like, or brought up the idea somewhat of like going into New York City, going to a gay bar and hanging out there. And I don't really like going out. That was my main thing. I just don't like going out past midnight. I feel like that's not a crazy take, you know? But anyway, so I was like, I don't know. Doesn't really sound like my scene. And their comeback was, well, you and him can watch the drag show. And I was like, what? I didn't understand. I thought they were joking. I literally thought they were joking. I don't have any problem with anybody, but I just thought that was a joke. So I just, I kind of hit a joke right back. I was like, oh, like, what if me and this guy, like, we could just go to a strip club or something like that? Like, we could all go, It was obviously a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of guy, first of all, I've never been to a strip club. But, like, what kind of guy would actually be like, yeah, let's all go to a strip club, blah, blah, blah. The point of me saying that was to say that it's ridiculous for me to expend all night at a place I don't want to be with, I guess, kind of provocative behavior, and when I could say the same thing in reverse. And it was just funny. And here's the part that pisses me off. I don't care if people don't find my jokes funny. I get it. I'm not, I'm a little bit of an asshole, whatever. But this is the part. I saw the guy sitting across from me. I saw him start to laugh. I saw him smile, look at me, then see his girlfriend's reaction and stop himself from laughing. I saw that. I wanted to just, I really wanted to be like, I'm not the kind of guy to be like, make a scene. And I don't care. But I just noticed that, like, I was like this. I was like, because I saw him, like, and then just, like, completely shut down. And then, I don't know, they started squawking. I don't know, the girls started squawking at me, like, blah, 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 blah. All the normal crap, people say. And I was joking, I feel like everyone knows I was kidding, but okay, all right, whatever. It is what it is. But I was the only person, I wasn't mad at them for reacting like that. That people don't want to find my stuff funny, that's fine. But I was mad at the guy because I genuinely saw him smile, change his reaction in the middle of it, because I think his girlfriend would have like legitimately started strangling him. But but still, bro, you could have like had my back. He stayed completely quiet. He wasn't offended. I know he wasn't offended at my joke, but he stayed completely quiet. And I don't know. I thought we were still in a generation of guys. I thought we want to have some fun. Like, we can't just make a joke and have some fun. I know we're not going to go to a club, but we can't just be like, oh, like, we can't even just bring it up as a joke. That's an insane paradigm of society where you can't even just say, like, a little bit of a joke. Like, yeah, a little bit of jokes, like, they are insensitive. They are a bit mean. That's why they're jokes. You know what I mean? When I was super chubby, like, I never, like, really took jokes too much to the heart. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about these, like, fake pseudo-nice things. I remember when I was super fat, like, my friends would all make fun of me, and it was funny. It was funny. Okay, it did kind of hurt, like, the fifth or sixth time they said it, it was like, all right, guys, I get it, I'm fat. But no. You know what hurt a lot more than that? When someone would pretend to be nice. They would pretend they didn't know I was fat. They would pretend, right? And then it comes out, they're like, they just say it with this tone. You know what I mean? I remember there was, like, this super nice person, right? Super nice, always sweet. And I was just ribbing around. I forgot what I said. But I know it couldn't have been that bad because I'm not that mean to nice people. Like, I just make jokes, And, I think I was like, oh, like, you, like, hold this L or something like that back in high school when people would say stuff like that. And she looked at me with ice cold eyes. She's like, I know I held it, but if you dropped it, you would just eat it, wouldn't you? Like, angry. I was like, whoa. I was like, God damn. That, like, I'm like, you've been holding that in for a while, haven't you? And I had to, I had the tough guy act. I was like, I don't give a fuck what she says. And in my mind, I'm like, damn. I was like, you're like the one person that didn't call me fat. But it was funny. It was a little funny now looking back. But the point is, she still noticed it. She still, like, if she had if she had just like ribbed me back a bit, she wouldn't have had to like really like, she looked like she hated me. And I feel like that's not the worst joke to make. I think it was like gym class, and I was like, she lost at something. It was like a legitimately like a small thing. But anyway, I noticed that theme of people that they'll be like, oh, like, I'm so nice, like, I won't even laugh at that. And then they'll say legitimately mean things to people. They'll be like, oh, well, like, don't make that joke about that girl or whatever. But then they'll say, like, the most hateful thing you'll hear about them. Or they'll be like, oh, no, like, don't make fun of that guy for his reaction, but I'll actually, like, subjugate him to a different level of standard if he doesn't meet exactly what I want. I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like, they'll make fun of you for, like, fat shaming a guy, and then they'll be like, no, but, like, I'll treat him, like, legitimately differently if he's not tall enough. And I'm like, what? I feel like that's worse, And I'm not blaming anyone for doing anything. I don't care what people do. I'm just saying, like, if people can legitimately be mean to other people in private and act like they're nice in front, then why can't I make jokes? Why can't, as guys, we're just joking around? You know, if I call my friend fat and he calls me ugly, like, whatever, bro. Maybe he isn't fat. Maybe I'm not as ugly as he says I am. Maybe I'm even uglier than he says I am. Who cares? We're just messing around. And I feel like, you know, the reason I'm really bringing this up is because I think that there's like a vacuum that you need this. We need this type of behavior because, bro, like dumb things to say, even if they're stupid, even if they're whatever, like we need them. And the reason I say that isn't my opinion. It's because whenever you get like a comedian or a social media celebrity that is outspoken and doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks and just says things, and like they don't have to be like the most, you know, philosophy type of content or whatever. They blow up. They blow up. Look at Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis, he's one of the most popular comedians on the planet right now. Absolutely hilarious. Here's Shane Gillis just talking about a random exchange he had with a random guy. And the thing about this is this video has 6 million views and like over 1,000 comments. And it's literally just the stupidest crap you'll hear. Here, hold on. I have to produce this myself, so don't.
I bombed at Helium. I was driving back to our house, and there was just like a finance bro on a bike. And I was just driving by him, and I was like, pussy. And I hit a red light, and I saw him flying, dude. My windows were down, and I had a thought. I was like, do I pull the window up? I was like, no. I get whatever he's about to give me. Dude, he stuck his head in my window, and he goes, nice car, you fucking faggot. And then I went, and we both started laughing, and he pedaled away. And I was like, yeah, he laughed.
It's hilarious.
It was such a nice moment.
That's a good exchange.
It was a genuine nice exchange.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? That he means that. That's a genuine nice exchange. And I feel like most people mean that. Most men mean that when they say like, oh, like, that's my homie. And then you hear them say like the most ridiculous stuff to each other. And it's kind of that thing of like bringing the bros back. You got to bring back kind of like the council. You got to bring back this energy of like, you know what? We're just messing around. We're just guys being guys. Like just mess around a little bit. I'm not saying be a complete moron the entire time, you know, in your 20s. I'm just saying like don't be scared to be a little bit outlandish. Take some shots, you know, just kind of take a swing, you know. Who cares if anyone thinks it's funny other than you and your friend? You know, if you guys are laughing, and if you think something's funny, have the courage to laugh. Don't be like, oh, I can't. Oh, I kind of agree with him, but like, or I kind of agree with her, but like, I can't say it. I can't say it. What if people think I'm mean? What if people think I'm insensitive? Who cares? Anyone who really spends their time thinking about this stuff is a loser. I don't. There's no other way to explain it. Anyway, have a good weekend. And peace.
This video is intended for entertainment and satirical purposes only. The content shared in this video represents personal opinions and humors and is not meant to be taken as professional advice or guidance. This channel and its creators are not affiliated with any professional or educational institution. Viewer discretion is advised, and any resemblance to real events or persons is purely coincidental.